Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a closer look at the global fitness consultation market. Our mission is really to unpack some fascinating insights from a detailed market report. We'll be focusing on the trends, pretty impressive growth projections, and the forces shaping this whole sector. So if you're curious about health and wellness trends, or maybe just want to get up to speed quickly on a really thriving global industry, then yeah, you're in the right place.
Absolutely. And it's interesting. The report doesn't just say it's growing, it uses the phrase robust expansion globally. That really caught my eye. It suggests, a pretty significant shift in how people are thinking about and approaching their health.
Robust expansion. I like that. And when we talk about numbers, they were seriously impressive, aren't they?
Mm.
The report puts the market value at, nearly $14.6 billion back in 2021.
That's right.
But the projection, it's expected to nearly double, hitting almost $28.7 billion by 2033.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about that surge in, just over a decade? It's massive.
It really is. And if you look at what that means over time, it translates to a compound annual growth rate, the CCR, of almost 5.8%, nearly 6% year-on-year growth.
Okay, 5.8% CAGR.
Oh,
So what's driving that? It can't just be happening in a vacuum.
no, definitely not. It's really down to a few clear interconnected trends. You've got this big rise in health awareness pretty much everywhere. Then there's the explosion of digital fitness platforms, apps, online coaching, you name it, making everything way more accessible.
Right, access is huge.
And finally, there's this really strong demand for personalized health guidance. People don't just want generic advice anymore, so that's kind of the why behind the numbers. People want solutions tailored specifically to them, to their lives, their goals.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's unpack that geography then.
Yeah.
Given these global numbers, where exactly are we seeing the most action? Which regions are really leading the pack?
Good question. Right now, North America is definitely out front. A lot of that has to do with, well, relatively high health consciousness already embedded there, plus really widespread use of digital services for fitness.
All right.
So the value there was over $5.2 billion in 2021, and it's projected to climb near $9.7 billion by 2033. A huge chunk of the global market.
Wow. And within North America, I assume the U.S. is a big part of that.
Oh, absolutely. The U.S. market alone was over $4.3 billion in 2021, and that's expected to reach nearly $7.9 billion by 2033. So, yeah, dominant.
But not just the U.S., right? What about Canada and Mexico?
No, exactly. Canada's showing really strong growth, too. Its HEGR is actually a bit higher, over 6%. It's projected to more than double its market size. And Mexico is also showing steady, consistent growth. So the whole region is pretty strong.
Interesting. Okay, what about across the pond in Europe?
Europe is also a major player, definitely. It shows really consistent demand for these services. Back in 2021, that market was worth over $3.4 billion. And the projection, it's heading towards over $6.3 billion by 2033. So a very solid, steady climb.
Okay, consistent growth in Europe. Any specific countries standing out there?
Yeah, a few. Germany, for instance, has a growth rate that's actually quite impressive, just over 6% CAGR. That takes its market from around $650 million to over $1.3 billion.
Doubling, basically.
Pretty much. The UK is also showing solid growth, heading towards nearly $1 billion by 2033. And Italy's got a consistent CAGR over 5%. Plus, France, Russia, Spain, they're all contributing significantly. It's a widespread trend there, too.
Okay, North America leading, Europe steady. But now, you mentioned something earlier that sounded particularly exciting, the Asia-Pacific region.
Ah, yes. This is where it gets really interesting. As you say, Asia Pacific is, well, it's the growth engine right now. It boasts the highest regional CGR globally, a really remarkable 6.62%.
6.6%, that's fast.
It is. It means leaping from just over $4 billion in 2021 to a projected $8.6 billion by 2033. The pace there is just striking.
But who's driving that within Asia-Pacific? China, I assume?
China is definitely a huge part of it, yeah. In terms of sheer size, it leads the region. It's growing from about $1.2 billion to nearly $2.7 billion by 2033. Substantial growth.
Okay.
But if we're talking about the rate of growth, the speed, India is the real standout. India actually has the highest CAGR in the entire region, maybe even globally in this report, at 7.45%.
Wow, 7.5%. What's fueling that specifically in India?
It seems to be a perfect storm, really. You've got a rapidly expanding middle class with more disposable income. There's a huge young population that's very engaged with social media, including fitness trends.
Mm,
And crucially, there have been massive investments in digital infrastructure. So online consultations, apps, they're just much more accessible now to millions more people.
right, so it's not just awareness, it's access and sort of cultural shifts too.
Exactly. It feels like a fundamental shift in lifestyle and opportunity there.
It's incredible to see. And it's not just China and India, right?
Yeah.
Any other hot spots in APAC?
Definitely. Singapore also shows really strong growth. Its HGR is nearly 7%, around 6.9%. It's set to more than double its market value, too. And Japan and South Korea are also seeing significant expansion. It really underscores how widespread this is becoming across Asia.
Okay, so we have North America, Europe, and this booming Asia-Pacific region. What about the rest of the world? South America, Middle East, Africa?
Yeah, they're definitely part of the story too, showing strong expansion as well. They're sort of emerging powerhouses in this space. South America is growing at a healthy clip, over 6% CAGR overall. Brazil's the largest market there. And Argentina actually has a really high growth rate, almost 6.7%.
Interesting.
Then the Middle East, also robust growth, nearly 6% CAGR for the region. And then some countries there, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, the UAE, are individually growing even faster, above 6%.
Okay.
And Africa is progressing steadily too, around 5.1% CAGR overall. Nigeria and South Africa are showing notable growth trajectories within the continent. So it really drives home that this is a global phenomenon, not just isolated pockets.
Absolutely. So we've covered a lot of ground, a lot of numbers. Let's try and connect the dots. What does this all really mean for, for you listening? Whether you're deep into fitness yourself, maybe an innovator in the health tech space, or just curious about these big market shifts.
Yeah, pulling it all together, the common threads are pretty clear, aren't they? It boils down to one, this evolving, almost universal understanding that health is vital. Two, technology, especially digital platforms, making things possible that weren't before.
Right.
And three, this powerful, growing desire for strategies that are personal, not one size fits all. These factors are genuinely redefining the market.
Yeah.
We're moving towards a future where wellness support is much more customized, much more accessible for potentially everyone.
It makes intuitive sense too, doesn't it? And I think many of us have tried, generic fitness plans or apps that didn't quite click because they weren't tailored.
Exactly. That's the core of it. This shift towards personalized guidance really meets that need for solutions that fit us as individuals.
Well, this has been a really insightful deep dive. The global fitness consultation market is clearly uh, undergoing this incredible expansion, driven by that desire for better health we all share, and really supercharged by digital innovation.
It really is dynamic, and it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Considering how fast personalized and digital fitness consultation is growing right now, what new forms of wellness guidance, maybe things we haven't even thought of yet, do you think might become mainstream in the next few years? Something to ponder.
Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to cut through the noise, get right to the core of your sources. Today, we're diving headfirst into something really relevant, the global fitness consultation market. We've got some fascinating industry research here, and we've boiled it down to the key trends and facts for you.
Yeah, and our mission today basically is to unpack what's really driving this market, the big forces, also the hurdles it's facing, and maybe most importantly, the innovation shaping its future. Think of this as your shortcut, really, to getting up to speed. And it's about more than just exercise, right? It's a bigger shift in how we view well-being.
Okay, so let's jump right in. What's propelling this industry? I mean, when you look at the research, what's the main engine here?
Well, what's really interesting, I think, is this huge surge in awareness around preventive healthcare and just wellness overall. It's not just a small trend. People are genuinely investing in their long-term health, looking way beyond just, how they look. It's more like a proactive investment in future health, energy, even mental toughness.
That's a really important point, a proactive investment.
Yeah.
So you mentioned prevention, but the flip side must also be true, right? The increase in lifestyle diseases.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge accelerant.
Yeah.
You look at the global rates of obesity, diabetes, heart conditions, they're climbing. And that creates this urgent need for structured, personalized fitness help. What's really telling in the research is how others are getting involved now. Employers, insurers, even healthcare providers, they're actively building fitness consultations into their standard offering.
Right, so it's moving beyond just personal choice.
Exactly. It's becoming almost an institutional thing, like one-on-one training, customized plans. It's part of a bigger health strategy.
That integration piece with employers and insurers, that feels like a real game changer. It's not just a hobby anymore.
Definitely not. It's seen as vital for, public health, even productivity.
So with all that demand and this institutional buy-in, how does the industry actually keep up? Which, I guess, brings us straight to tech, doesn't it?
It really does. The digital transformation here is, well, it's revolutionary. No other word for it. We're talking AI-driven apps that learn you video coaching bringing trainers anywhere, real-time data analytics giving insights we never had before. These tools, they're not just convenient, they're changing access, breaking down geographical barriers, reaching remote clients. It allows for these hyper-personalized, scalable, and frankly, just more efficient solutions, things we couldn't imagine a decade back.
Okay, that paints a pretty strong picture of the growth factors.
Yeah.
But, no market's perfect. There are always challenges. What are the main roadblocks the fitness consultation market is hitting right now?
Right. Good question. A big one that jumps out from the research is the lack of standardization, especially in service quality and, importantly, certifications for the consultants themselves. You have wildly different levels of expertise out there. And without a clear global standard, consumers are, understandably, a bit uncertain. Who do you trust?
That makes sense. Creates hesitation.
Exactly. It actually kind of slows down growth because people hesitate to invest, serious money without knowing they're getting credible advice.
Okay, credibility is one thing, but then there's the simple matter of cost. All this great personalization and tech. Is it still mostly a luxury?
For many, yes. That high cost is definitely a major barrier. These customized plans, they often carry a premium price, and that puts them out of reach for price-sensitive folks. Particularly, you see this in developing economies. So what happens? People might turn to free apps or cheaper digital options, which are good up to a point,
Hmm.
but often lack that crucial guidance and accountability you get from a real professional consultant.
Hmm. So it's a bit of a catch-22. Technology helps reach people who can afford it,
Right.
but maybe widens the gap for others. Are there still big areas being left behind?
Yeah. Unfortunately, that digital divide is quite real. Adoption is still pretty limited in rural or underserved areas. Even with digital tools, these services tend to cluster in urban centers. The barriers are varied. Sometimes it's just poor internet, other times it's cultural factors or just a lack of awareness about the benefits. And this disparity, it really hinders inclusivity and, long-term scalability, especially if you're looking at emerging markets.
Okay, so we've got the drivers, we've got the hurdles. Let's shift gears to the exciting part, the future trends. What innovations are really changing the game in fitness consultation?
Well, one of the most dynamic areas is the integration with wearables. Health trackers, think smartwatches, heart rate monitors, sleep trackers. They're becoming really sophisticated. They're not just gadgets, they're basically diagnostic tools now. They give professionals real-time, objective data, which means they can design plans that are incredibly responsive, adaptive. It just deepens the personalization, helps optimize performance, and honestly, it boosts client satisfaction because the plan evolves with them.
That makes a lot of sense, using real data. Now, speaking of growth areas, I keep hearing about companies getting into this. Corporate wellness. Is that just a perk, or is it becoming a serious market?
Oh, it's definitely becoming a serious market, much more than just a perk. The research really highlights the rise of corporate wellness programs as a major trend, and the motivation is clear. Companies see it boosting productivity, cutting down on sick days, improving morale, even retention. So they're investing. It's becoming a really valuable B2B channel, group sessions, personal consults, even strategies for the whole workforce.
Interesting, a clear ROI for businesses.
Okay.
Okay, and wrapping up the trends, what about the scope of the consultations? Is it still just physical fitness, or is it broader now?
This is maybe the biggest evolution, actually. There's a really strong focus now on mental health and holistic wellness. It's not just about the body anymore. Modern consultations often weave in mindfulness, stress management, sleep advice, emotional well-being. It reflects this fundamental shift. Fitness isn't isolated, it's part of a whole lifestyle approach. And we see this really appeals especially to, say, urban professionals, younger adults, people looking for that balanced, sustainable view of health. So yeah, pulling it all together, you've got this market being reshaped by rising health awareness, amazing tech leaps, and this huge demand for holistic well-being. Now, challenges like cost and access, they're definitely still there, significant ones, but the overall future looks bright. It's powered by data, driven by purpose, and really being redefined by personalization.
So, what does this all mean for you listening? As you think about your own health journey or just how these services are changing, how might these dynamics influence your choices or the kind of support you look for? And maybe a final thought to chew on. Considering everything we've talked about, the challenges, the exciting trends, what do you think the next big thing will be? The innovation that really makes personalized fitness truly accessible and effective for everyone, everywhere.